Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fear the
Fear
Queer.
the Queer, a show where we talk about everything on our gay agendas. I'm Kyle.
And I am Josh. Oh, you can't see it. Damn it. I tried. There we go.
And
Josh.
and he's Josh.
That was quite an ordeal.
It was a process. We're all about a process here.
There we go.
And today we are playing a fun little game called Most Likely To, because Josh and I are very similar people. Sort of. Kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
But I think there's some things that we would do differently. So we're playing a game where we say like, oh, who would rather blah, 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 most likely to. And I go, Kyle, or I go, Josh. And,
My things are so transparent.
Well, mine are on multimedia paper.
Oh, mine's on poor man scratch paper. That's probably why.
Well, Well, it's okay, because when I first grabbed paper, the first thing I grabbed, and I was like, oh, this will work. It's kind of like transparent, just in case I need to draw on the back. If I draw it backwards, whatever, because of the camera thing.
Yeah.
And the first thing I grabbed was sticker paper. So like the front is like nice and just solid. And then I went to flip it over, and it's like the peel labels. And I was like, this doesn't work.
Right.
So
nice try, sis.
But these work. Yeah, nice try. But before we begin, Josh, what are you drinking today?
I completely forgot to create a thirst trap for myself, so I am just drinking water today.
I mean, be your own thirst trap. I went and got Starbucks again.
Surprising.
I know, here's the thing. I was up late doing stuff. I should be more specific. I was up late
doing
Excuse me. I was up late doing creative things, which I will be, posting.
Okay.
But yeah, not like
stuff.
Uh-huh. No, not that stuff.
Uh-huh.
You can't. I did brush my teeth. Yes.
Oh, good. That's what I was hoping you were. Good.
Could you smell my breath? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But before we get into the heart of our gay agenda tonight, we are going to do another segment of Fear It or Queer It.
Or Queer It.
Yes. In which we take headlines from either pop culture or the media, and we decided whether or not we fear it, meaning we don't like it, or we queer it, meaning we approve this.
We approve.
Yes. All right. So Kyle and I both came up with two headlines each, and we're just going to decide of whether or not we fear it or queer it. And the first headline that we have is, at the VMAs, Lady Gaga's clothes were good, but her masks were better. Thoughts?
I queer it.
I queer
Did you
too.
watch the VMAs?
No. Well, okay. So
I didn't either. I just watched her.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just watched Lady Gaga's performance because let's be real, the VMAs are not fun to watch anymore. But her performance was great, and her masks were incredible. Apparently, I didn't realize that her mask was the microphone.
Oh, I didn't know the mask was a microphone either.
Mm-hmm.
The person who did the mask is Diego Montoya, who like with the moving. That's Diego Montoya, which you may recognize that name because they also designed Blair St. Clair, Ms. Cracker, and Jujubee's final runway looks.
Oh, and they were phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so good. Like such a good designer. I queer it. I loved it. I don't watch the VMAs either, but definitely watched her and Ariana Grande sing Ring On. Not Rayon. Not Rayon.
Rayman.
When they sang Rain on Me.
Yes, they did.
And they're so good. I loved it.
They are.
I think Gaga is, wear your mask.
So I have a little funny story about this. So I have a coworker who I love to death. They're, I think, like 22, 23. So they're Gen Z, very
A
Gen Z.
child.
A child, if you want to
Yeah.
say. So it was super cute because he's just like, oh my god, did you see Lady Gaga's performance? Like she sang live, and I'm just like, yeah, she always sings live. Like it's just not. This is where my old man is coming in. It's just like Lady Gaga has always sang live, sweetie. Like
Right. And you can tell. Like you can tell she's singing live, or she's done a really good job of editing it to make it sound like she's taking breaths, and she choreographs it as such.
right, like she has to. Like unless she's like recording like bouncing up and down and like being like
She's like, rain on me. Okay, that.
Is this what you were doing last night? Your stuff?
I was no. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean,
Oh.
quarantine is very lonely.
So another thing too is that someone made a good point that like Ariana and Lady Gaga did more for like our public health by wearing masks than the fucking
Yes.
president, which very true.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, it took months for that dipshit orange Cheeto fuck to even say anything about wearing a mask in a positive sense. So he can burn in the fiery pits of hell. And Gaga and Ariana, keep doing your thing. Also, did anyone else were they even at the VMAs? Not in the audience necessarily, but like perform. It just felt like everything I saw was just Gaga.
Right, I know. It just seemed like Gaga was the only one there. And that's
Which is
the weird
fine.
thing
I mean, she looked great.
yeah, I mean, and she won the Tricon Award, which I think is very well deserved.
For Triceratops.
Yeah. She's the oldest living
Right?
female artist.
The Tricon for Triceratops. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, she had a mask that kind of looked like one.
That's true.
So
All right,
I'm just going by what I see.
Right. On to the next headline, which we have. There we go. Canada's Drag Race, Jeffrey Boyer Chapman deletes Twitter account. So,
right.
yeah.
I got thoughts about this.
All right.
What do you think first?
I am actually going to say fear it, meaning I don't like this. What do you think?
You don't like that he got off social media?
Yeah, I don't like the fact that he got off of social media, and we'll explain why.
Yeah, I agree. Let's jump into it. So if you are under a rock, or if you are not in Canada, or gay, or like drag, you probably don't know that there is a Canada's Drag Race. Well, guess what? There is. Last episode from when we're reporting was last night. There's a winner, so we may be talking about spoilers. Anyways.
Well, guess what? We did.
Guess what? We did.
So
JBC was voted off the island. I could not believe it.
Right.
So Jeffrey Boyer Chapman is an actor, I guess, and he on the show, he is also a judge for Canada's Drag Race.
Yes.
And a lot of his critiques were met with a lot of hostility from fans. I use air quotes, fans of the show online. And it got very nasty. Like someone was saying that he should be fired. And I'll admit, I think that his opinions or his critiques were kind of bitchy. They were not always met with the same kind of level of criticism as some of the other judges in the past have. However, I dislike the fact that he has been bullied offline. It is a show. Like, it is just a show. And I can't help but think that he is getting even more heavily critiqued and hatred, maybe because he's black.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, Michelle Visage on RuPaul's Drag Race says some pretty mean things too. Like she's like the serious judge. But no one is like, oh, fire Michelle. Why are we firing Jeffrey? I mean, let him have his stupid critiques. And again, the thing is that like, we can like talk about it. Like talk about it with your friends. Be bitchy with your friends. Be like, oh my God, he's so rude.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe what he said to Jimbo. I couldn't believe he said that to Alona.
Well, and the only person who has the right to like say these things, like, oh my God, Jeffrey, like this sucks, like that hurt, or things like that, are the
Mhm.
contestants. Like,
Right.
they're the only ones who have the right to just be like, hey, that was out of line. Like, I didn't appreciate that. Because
Mm-hmm.
his judgment, us as viewers, like, it doesn't affect us any way whatsoever.
Right.
Another thing too is that, like, I think this also proves to me like just how annoyingly gross and toxic the drag race fandom can be, because
Yeah.
um there's a lot of like young people out there who, I totally understand that like this is your favorite show, you have a lot of passion for it, you have
Oh
a lot
yeah.
of love for the queens and things like that. Yeah, I mean, considering the fact that it's like one of the great queer TV shows on right now, I can see why you are
Mm-hmm.
so invested in this. But it's a fucking TV show. Like, calm
Yeah.
the fuck down. Also, you telling Jeffrey Boyer Chapman to kill himself, how is that any different than him saying, Jimbo, you sucked in this challenge? You know?
I mean, it is a little bit different. One is saying you suck in this challenge,
Right.
and another is telling someone to end their life.
Right.
It
But that's what
just
I mean. It's like
it's
it's
not that deep,
hypocritical. No.
right? It's not. It shouldn't be. So if you are out there and you are sending hate to a celebrity because you disagree with them because of a TV show, not because of a moral standing on which they are taking,
Right.
or holding them accountable for things that they have done or said, check yourself. Like, just
Yeah.
text your friend. Like, Josh and I text all the time, like, oh my God, Jeffrey was so mean. Like,
Right.
I thought he was really mean. I didn't like, there is a critique of Alona Verley where he says, like, her butt is out. Like, she wore an outfit where her ass was exposed. She
Mm-hmm.
looked great. I didn't think anything of it. And he was like, next time, maybe put a little bit of like full coverage foundation on your ass. And the thing is that like, maybe he's right. But also like, it was just such a weird, it's hard for someone who doesn't do drag to critique about things that are drag related. Like if he's an actor. So if he was
Right.
like, wow, you in the acting challenge, it didn't, I mean, I don't know.
Well, like, if
Thing
there
is
was
that
more
he's being paid to critique.
yeah, well, and also if they were like more constructive, like if he was just like, hey, Alona, like if you did more full coverage on your ass, like it would actually make it look even more
Hmm.
voluptuous than it did, or something like that. Like I could be like, okay, that makes
Right.
sense, you know? Like,
And he could always
but
like spin it around too to be like, you know, I like when I do TV and stuff like that, like I have to put for full coverage on if I like on my body, because let's be real, Jeffrey Boyer Chapman is very attractive,
yes, very.
very attractive person. So I mean, he's probably been in that situation where he's had to do full coverage
Right.
for scenes or acting or whatnot. But I don't know. People be nice. Be
Yeah.
nice. Don't bully people offline. Don't tell them to kill themselves.
Well, there's so many more things that you could be like inherently passionate about right now. Like we have
Mm-hmm.
like people in America, we have an election coming up right now. Like, have
Right.
you put in your request to your mail-in ballot? Like, focus on that shit. Don't bully Jeffrey Boyer Chapman off of Twitter just because you're pissed off at him.
Right. There's so much energy being put into celebrities and bullying them. Um, Instead of like, you know, how many petitions have you signed about Black Lives Matter? How many organizations have you looked up and shared and donated to? How many protests have you gone to? How many conversations have you had with your loved ones about important issues that we are facing? If you say none to any of that, you're a shit person. You should
Check
get
yourself.
offline. You should get offline. I'm gonna
Law.
bully you offline. You heard it here first. Kyle from Fear the Queer says, get offline if you're not putting the work in. Stop being mean to
Exactly.
celebrities.
Exactly.
Actually, be mean to celebrities all you want, but don't tell them to kill themselves. That's mean. I don't.
No, that's stupid. All right, on to the next headline, which we
God,
have.
that face.
Right. Dictionary replaces homosexual in largest update ever. And then the subheading says they've also added terms like gender inclusive, trans, and capitalized pride. Thoughts? I mean, I queer
Wait.
it.
So, did they take away homosexual?
Yeah, so let me put in a little bit more context to
Yeah,
this.
explain, because I don't know.
So they took out the word homosexual because they say that the connotation behind that word has the history of people using that word as like a mental illness or someone who is, you
Oh,
know, like someone who's unfit for society. So they replaced homosexuality with gay man, uh, gay woman, or things like that, and then they added
okay.
transgender, I think lesbians already was in there, but like they capitalized pride. They did
Hmm.
they added intersex, asexual. So in other words, they're just sort of like updating their vocabulary beyond homosexual, and they feel like they could just get rid of that word because other than we gay people who are like we're homosexuals, like no
I
one
mean,
calls, yeah, no one like straight up is like, are you homosexual? You know,
well,
I mean, at least in my experience, I feel like no one's ever asked me, am I homosexual? It's just more of like, are you gay?
I like that you said that it's not a mental illness, that we are fit for society. While I agree with the first half that being gay is not a mental illness, I will
Yeah.
disagree that I am fit for society.
Kyle has not left his
um,
house in years.
it's been like, no, it was like 2 days until I got coffee. Then an hour ago. But okay, I queer it in the sense of progression. I like
Sure.
the idea that we're progressing towards a more inclusive. Our understanding of the language is becoming is becoming more inclusive and smarter. And
What
but
was that squawk?
that was me as Ben de la Creme
As
in
Maggie
Snatch
Smith.
Game, as Maggie Smith, as the Countess Duchess, whatever from Downton Abbey, re-originated to the language.
Language.
That was such a good Snatch Game. If you haven't watched it, you can YouTube all the Snatch Games from RuPaul's Drag Race. Do it; it'll make you happy. But I guess I fear the idea that, or I dislike the idea that the word homosexual always has a negative connotation. And the reason I say that is because words have negative connotations if you subscribe a negative connotation to them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like it if people are like, well, I don't know. Can I call you gay? Can I call you gay? Yeah, gay is not a bad thing to say.
Right.
Gay is not a bad thing to say. But if you have grown up or your idea of it is, I don't know if I can say that. Oh, hello, doggy. The dog's barking outside. Um, Not your dog.
I know.
My
I was just like,
invisible dog. Again, unfit for society. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Are they taking heterosexual out?
I didn't. I didn't read that.
That's
I
what
don't think.
I'm interested in that because I feel like
Well, yeah, because it's like homosexual. I guess is like the scientific term to describe it, but I guess they just felt like it was insensitive. Also,
I
like, yeah, I don't know.
I guess like if homosexual, if the definition changed to be like not a mental illness, hashtag born this way, um, that's the definition of homosexual. Then I think
hashtag born this way.
yeah, if they simply update the definition or understanding, that's cool. But I don't know if I necessarily see a need to completely get rid of the word, especially when heterosexual to describe straight people is still there.
Yeah. No.
So
I
I
I see your
queer the
point.
progression of language, but I fear getting rid
Like
of language.
erasure of.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, this isn't like, taking down Confederate statue. This is just that it's, and it's also not a word that, I mean, it can be used as hateful towards people, but I don't know. I don't see it as such. But maybe that's because I'm a
Right.
homosexual.
But then you also like wonder too, like, are they going to get rid of terms like hermaphrodite and like,
What
replace
was
it
that
with
one? Don't say it again. No, no, I'm kidding you. I think,
wait, did
well,
I say it
that
wrong?
you said there is a hermapho. Is it hermapha?
Hermaphrodite?
I don't know. I know that is a very dated term that isn't
Right.
used.
Anyways,
So, Josh, you're gonna get canceled and kicked off if
no.
you're the queer.
What I was gonna say is like, are
Go
they
hang
going
out
to
with Jeffrey Boyer Chapman.
what I was gonna say is like, are they gonna remove that word because it's an outdated term that people don't use anymore?
Right.
And are they gonna include like terms intersex? Like, if they're going to continue this level of progression, I feel like they need to keep moving forward with this. You know?
Right. Yeah, that's. I guess we'll just see, because I like the idea of moving in progression. I
To be
guess we'll
fair, it's
just
not like
see.
I read the dictionary, so I don't even know. So
I know. I don't either.
all right, on to our last headline.
Okay. It's the last one.
Drag Race's Widow Von Du to take a break after fandom hate. And I think this just like continues on with the Jeffrey Boyer Chapman situation. I fear it. And once again, someone in our community who's Black is the one who is chased off of social media because of all the hate and death threats that were faced against them. Also, what the fuck do people have against Widow Von Du? Like, she's fantastic.
Oh, I know.
Right?
Okay, yeah, I definitely fear. Like, I fear it. I dislike Widow being off social media. Widow, I remember when she was announced and we started watching the show, I remember saying to you, like, I want to see her in person. Like, she seems like she can put on a fucking great show.
Right.
And you look at the first episode she's in, she's doing the split. She basically breaks herself in half on stage and wins the first episode.
Yeah.
I don't understand any hate that would be sent to her outside of people being hateful towards the color of her skin. So fuck racism. Because there's literally the only time that she might be perceived as, I don't know, bitchy on the show. She's not even bitchy to other people. She's like, it's all like an internal thing. It's her working against herself.
Right.
So why would people?
Well, she never goes after anybody. Like, she never actually like says anything bad about any of the other girls. She's just like, I'm gonna take you guys down and prove that I'm the best. Or she's like, I'm really mad at myself for this challenge. So it's just like, I don't get it.
Right. Like, maybe she'll say like, oh, I don't like the role I have in this challenge. Well, how come Widow can't say that, but like white queens can say that? How come Gigi Good can straight up be like mean to Heidi about her makeup, and no one's like, oh, cancel Gigi Good? Okay, it's a TV show. Like, calm down. It's a TV show. These queens are all friends in real life. Which isn't always the case on seasons, but
yeah.
I mean, season 12. Why don't bully Widow Von Du? Go give Widow Von Du some love. She's a great queen. Yeah, she's a great queen, and she can rap. Like, Nicki Minaj straight up was like, I wrote down what she said, you said, and then she read off her rap. Stop. Why are people mean to talented people? I'm asking because they're mean to me. No,
I think people actually would have like another thing coming to them if they try to attack you on Twitter. Like,
well, that's the thing is, I think everyone handles things differently. Like,
yeah,
Widow has gotten evidently she's gotten so much hate. Not evidently, but like I don't understand why she's gotten so much hate.
Yeah.
Right. For her mental health, and it has to be just like loaded on and on and on and on. And over the past couple of months, like, the show's been off for the past few months. Why are you sending her hate? Like, there's no reason for that.
It's not like she sent your favorites home.
Well, she did send Jan home.
Well, Jan didn't win the challenge, so I'm sorry, Jan.
She sent Jan home, and I'm upset. No, I will say that challenge, sorry to anyone who hasn't watched season 12 of Drag Race, but that challenge, I do not think that Widow and Jan should have been in the bottom.
No, I think
it should have been, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it should have been Sherry and Gigi.
I agree.
Yeah.
They did not make a good infomercial.
Two people who had never been in the bottom two on season 12, and I think both of them deserve to be in the bottom two a couple of times.
There was a few times I thought Gigi should be in the bottom. Sherry, anyone who doesn't know Sherry Pie is the contestant that was accused of sexual harassment and was disqualified even before her first episode. She's a terrible person. We won't give her any more screen time or airtime. But the thing is that, like, Gigi, you can tell. Sometimes producers, they like a certain queen. They don't like other queens. And I think Gigi could have been in the bottom a few times. And that isn't to say that I dislike Gigi. I think Gigi's really good.
Yeah.
She's young. She's
everything you're not. She's young.
She's young. She's thin. She's fashionable. She can do makeup.
She leaves the house.
She leaves the house. Well, she is a Sagittarius. Yes, I look up all of their zodiac signs.
Of course you do.
Widow is an Aries. So
that's not surprising.
So do you think that, like, if you were put in a situation where you were on a TV show like Drag Race, like a reality competition show, and people were just coming at you constantly like, oh, Josh should kill himself. Oh, Josh is the villain, blah, blah, blah. How would you take it? Do you think, is that like an Aries thing to be like, fuck this, I'm getting off? Or do you think you would fight them?
It depends. It depends on my mood. I think Widow has a good point of just like, why even put up with that shit anyway? Like, to me, like, I think Twitter is a very, like, I try not to go on Twitter that much because I feel like a lot of people's opinions just like spat out from their mouth. And I can see, like, as someone who's like been in the spotlight or someone who is a public figure, I would get sick of that shit too. I would log off Twitter and I wouldn't be like I wouldn't be ashamed of that either. I'd be like, you know what?
Oh yeah, no.
I don't have time for this. I just only want positive vibes in my life, and I'm not going to put myself in this situation anymore. So that also could be another like reason why Widow did it. So I could totally see that.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I hope that she takes time. I hope that she knows that she is loved and appreciated. Like, you're talented, baby. Don't worry about it. Fuck the haters.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, I still would imagine people trying to come after you on social media.
I mean, we've talked about this before.
Kyle has the time, ladies and gentlemen.
I got the time. Like, I say this all the time. People ask me, why do you even give energy to it? Why even give energy to it? And I get that sentiment because sometimes you wake up and you think, you look at your phone, and I don't get a lot of hate online, so let's not start this. But sometimes
it's all me.
It's just Josh. It's just Josh being like, log off, old.
Yeah, log off.
But use full coverage foundation on your ass next time you post it. And I'm like, I didn't post a picture of my ass. And Josh is like, then whose picture is this? And I'm like, I don't know. Right. Who photoshopped my face on that ass? Because that's a good butt. But I wake up every day and I think, how much energy do I have and where do I want to spend, like, put my energy? I will say that during quarantine, I find myself being less combative towards morons online. But there are certain things I don't stand for. Especially if you come to my page, if you come on my page, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, any of that, and you say anything transphobic, racist, homophobic, any of that, anything anti-women, anti-immigrants, anything that I would deem making you a shitty person, you can best believe I will read you to filth, and I'll be petty enough to find out your all your information online, because I'm a millennial. Hey, Gen Z, don't write me off yet. I can be petty too, and I understand the internet, sorta. But like, I'll find your mugshots. I'll find all of Josh is like, don't show mine. I'll find your mugshots. I'll find the holes in your story that you've lied about, and I will not hesitate to expose your ass. So I don't know, maybe next time, instead of thinking I'm going to be anti-trans or I'm going to be racist today, maybe shut your fucking mouth. Anyways, otherwise I just hit the block button.
Otherwise I'm a really positive person.
I'm a positive person. I just don't put up with hate.
No, I agree. Yeah.
You know, it's like that one time that, like, someone came on my drag page and they wrote like some stupid thing, and it's totally Oh my gosh. It was basically like, it was poorly written. So, I mean, if you're going, if you're
It was
going to
clearly a
come for me,
troll.
yeah, clearly a troll.
Yeah.
And had like 3 followers, claimed he was like some, I don't know, MFA fighter or something. But if you come for me, I will screenshot what you said and I will take it to my personal Instagram that has more followers and post the receipts so that people can go and know that you're a stupid ass and
And bully
report
you
you.
off the internet.
I realized that's what I was doing, but I was like, is it okay to bully a troll? Is
I
that
think
okay?
so. I think so.
I mean, I'll bully a troll or I'll just block them.
I was
Lately,
gonna
I
say,
feel like
actually,
the past 6 months, I just block.
I was gonna say, yeah, and actually, it's like, don't even bother with that. Just block them. Don't feed the trolls, ladies and gentlemen.
Let them stay under the bridge.
Where Kyle lives.
Hey, want me to comment on your post? That's me as a troll. Reminds me of Troll in Central Park. Remember that movie?
No, but what's that? What's that fairy tale with like the troll under the bridge? And like,
Billy Goat's Gruff.
yes, yeah. You're that troll.
I'm that troll. Why? Because I'm the goat, the greatest of all time. Josh,
Yeah,
how could
exactly.
you try to insult me, and I am so delusional that I just twisted that right around.
You're like, thank you, the goat.
Thank you. I'm the goat, the troll goat.
You're the troll goat. I can't even say it anymore.
The troll goat.
Groat, yeah.
I am Groot. I am Groot. Now, to get to the heart of our gay agenda, today Josh and I are playing a game, Most Likely To, in which we talk about different things and we decide who's most likely to do them, whether it will be Josh or Kyle. There you go. There's your signs.
Right.
And for those listening, we'll say out loud our choices. And the whole point of this game, because if I do anything with Josh on this podcast, and there's one thing that we can take away from it, Josh loves a game.
I do. I love a
So,
game.
the point is we're trying to compete to match together.
Yep.
And it's kind of like the idea of like, have you ever seen those things where it's like the best friend game and you try to match each other by like, who knows each other better, or like a match game? Yeah, Friends for Cash, or like the match game. Yeah, so we're kind of doing that. So Josh and I have both compiled a bunch of questions that we're going to go through. And if you want to play along and guess if you think it's more Kyle or more Josh, you can do that. Or you don't have to. I don't care. So
we're not here to please you.
I'm not here to please you. Look at me. So unlike usual, I think, Josh, you can go ahead and go first. And I know. Here's the thing. It's Virgo season. I'm putting effort into others.
Oh, thank you.
I know. Right.
So first question. I know.
Sorry.
So
okay,
first question, and then we'll do a count of 3, and then we'll reveal our answers, and then we'll explain why we think that way. Okay. So the first question is,
do you want to say like on the count of 3, like 1, 2, 3, and then we say our names as well as the signs? Okay, yeah. Cool. Okay.
Well, because that way the listeners who don't want to see our faces can still see it.
And I appreciate that. Those listeners, in your head, I'm still attractive, so.
Right. Hopefully. All right. First question. Who is most likely to spend a weekend at Fire Island for a quick getaway? All right. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2,
1,
3.
2, 3.
Josh.
Kyle.
Damn it.
Damn it. Okay. What's your reasoning? Because I have reasoning too.
I just feel like you never travel, so that's why I said me.
Okay. I at first I put down Josh at first
Uh-huh.
because I was like, this seems like something Josh would do. Like, I feel like Josh would just take off for the weekend. But then I started thinking about it. And then I was like, is Josh really that spontaneous? And I think the answer was, he is more spontaneous. But I also factored in, I was like, he has a boyfriend, he has a dog to worry about. Could he even go off spontaneously to Fire Island? And would that be okay with AJ? I don't know. Would AJ be would you tell people? I don't know. The spontaneity. So that's why I chose myself. It wasn't that I actually would.
Spiraled.
I literally spiraled. I saw the question, I went, oh, clearly Josh. And I went, well.
And then you're just like the math lady with all the equations. Like, you're just like...
I definitely was. So we did not get that one. That did not work out well for us. Right. Okay. Next question. Who is more likely to pull a Karen at a restaurant? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Josh.
Me. Why
yeah.
have I disappeared? Yeah.
Josh.
Totally. Especially if I feel like I'm in the right. I think I probably might pull a Karen. So this brings up the story of when we were at North End, and we were,
which is a bar in Chicago.
It's a bar in Chicago. It's in Boys Town, and we were sitting next to the pool table. Like, we just chose to sit there, and then someone started playing a game of pool, and this stupid ass hoe kept trying to like knock his pole into me, and so when
the pool stick, not his pole.
Right, not his. Oh, excuse me, his pool stick. Yeah, the pole came later. No. So when he hit the pool stick, like, he kept like jamming me. So eventually I was just like, you know what, fuck this. And I knocked it out of his hand. And he turns around, he's like, you fucking cunt. And then, and then our friend Jill, friend of the pod, Jill, jumped in, and we both started arguing with him. And for some reason, Kyle just decides to distract us by pouring candle wax on his face.
Not candle wax, chalk dust.
Was it chalk dust? I seriously thought you put like a scoop of candle wax.
Why? There's no candles there.
I don't know why I thought that.
It was chalk dust because, like, the pool.
I don't know, because
I was just
like covered in white.
Phantom of the Opera style. I mean, contrary to what it may appear, I hate getting into arguments. Again, unless unless someone's being, terrible. But if someone's like hitting, like, if I'm more likely to be like, sorry, I'm in the way. Here, let's just move over here. That's very more like my oop. Yeah, oop. Very much that. So we got 1 point. Are you keeping track of points?
In my head I am. Yeah, 1 point. Okay.
1 point.
So
okay.
Next question. Who is most likely to be included on the Out 100 as Entertainer of the Year?
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Kyle. Yep. We got another match. We've got 2 points now. So we both...
we both said Kyle. We both said me. Do you want to be Entertainer of the Year?
I was just like,
no,
just live your best Leo life. Just say it. You'll...
Well, okay, because again, I spiral. But I was like, I don't even think Josh would want to be Entertainer of the Year.
Mm-mm.
I feel like that's not like something, that's not on like a bucket list for you. So that's why I was like, obviously it would be me.
Right. Like, I feel like you would actually like have more fulfillment with that title. Like, I feel like if I got like advocate or something, or like, I don't know, like organizer, I don't know. Like,
so I am more full of myself is what you're saying. And you're compassionate and care about others. Okay. All right. I understand.
Somehow that turned into an insult against Kyle. Actually, the Out 100 is just 100 pages of Kyle. He wins all the titles.
I like cut out pictures of my face and just glue it on there. It's right. Like for like the gay swimmer and like gay producer and whatever.
Gay swimmer of the year.
No, like Michael Phelps. He's not gay, is he?
No, I'm thinking gay.
Tom Daly, the diver.
He's a diver. An Olympic diver.
They all wear tight tight swimsuits, and they're always in the water. So
Sure.
they're the same to me.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
What's your next
So,
question?
so we have 2 points now. Next question. So in an argument, who's more likely to apologize first? Okay.
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2,
2.
3.
Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah.
I felt
Got
like
3
that.
points.
We got 3 points. And I think that answer just goes to say that I've had to apologize more than you. So that's why I was like, obviously, I would apologize first because I've had to apologize more. I was thinking about it and I was like, I don't ever remember you saying sorry. That's not to say that you've had to say sorry. That's not to say that. But I was like thinking about it. I was like, has Josh had to apologize to me? And I couldn't think of one, like an actual one that we both weren't in the wrong for, you know?
I think,
I was
my
like, wow,
type of apology. Wait, what'd you say?
I was gonna be like, wow, Kyle, you're really rude. Because I feel like I've had to apologize to you at least like 5 times in the past year.
I don't think that bad, but I feel like your apology is actually like more upfront. Like, I apologize, I didn't mean this or whatever. And I feel like my apologies are more like half-hearted, where it's just like, well, I'm sorry that you pissed me off. Like,
I'll say that like I'll say that like if your apologies are more like, we're not going to talk about it. What's done is done. We're not yelling at each other anymore. Now let's go have fun. Where I am much more likely, and I'm like this with everyone. This isn't just like a you and me thing. But I am more like, we'll have it out, and then I want to end it immediately. Like, I hate the idea of like long arguments where people, go to different rooms or they leave the building and they don't talk to each other. Or I hate that shit. Like, argue, calm for a second, and then go, okay, this is stupid. I feel like most of the time I always am like, we're arguing over something dumb.
right.
And it is all just to take a breath. I'm sorry that I feel like most of the time I'm apologizing that I'm too aggressive and I'm too like intense.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're both like, I feel like we're just like yelling at each other for the exact same things. Like, you're too aggressive. No, you're too aggressive.
We're also both really loud.
Yeah.
So like sometimes we're not even really arguing. We're just both talking really loud.
Right.
And it sounds like we're arguing and people are like,
whenever Kyle and I, like, especially like when we bartend together, it's like Kyle and I, like, we've been friends for so long now where we just like bicker at each other back and forth for whatever random reasons.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just like we both know it's nothing, but like I can only imagine like if the third bartender, because there's always 3 of us, like, and just watching us be like,
I dropped my
like
phone.
that.
What?
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's like people have said like, oh my god, you guys are so mean to each other. I'm like, no, we're not.
No.
I don't think we're mean to each other. I mean, I
think we can both handle it.
Yeah, if you are mean to me, I will tell you.
Right.
Like, I'll be like, wow, that was really harsh.
That was way harsh, Ty.
Thank you. I was trying to think of the line.
Yeah. All right. My question. Wait,
Your question.
We have 3, right?
Yeah, 3 points out of 4. So I think we're winning.
We won. We're done. Okay. Next question. Who is more likely to live longer?
Okay.
All right. I have my answer. You ready?
I do too. Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think you are healthier than me.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
Oh, well then what's your reasoning? I was like, you're healthier.
No, I weirdly think that for whatever reason, you know how like people say like people accept death and they just like allow it? Like,
I'm just going to allow myself to die. You know what? Probably.
I think that would be you. I think I would just be like, you know what? Sure. And then just die.
You know what? You know what? From that point of view, I wholeheartedly agree. Because I don't really fear death. I don't want to die.
You fear the queer.
I fear the queer. I fear myself. I fear the word homosexual. But I don't. like, I don't fear death. I don't know. It doesn't scare me. It doesn't bother me. I don't want to die right now. Like, give me at least a half a year. But like, I,
I
I
don't know.
got
With the
things
way
to do.
this year is going, who knows?
Oh, it could be all done by January. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I think you'll live longer because you'll be like, I mean, okay, if you were like, let's say that we're both like old and sick
Hmm.
and like hooked up to a bunch of tubes and things in the hospital, would you want that? Like, would
I
you
feel
want to
like
like,
I feel like I'd be that type of person who's like stupidly stubborn when they're old. We're just like, I don't even fucking care. Like, rip these IVs out of me, and I just like kind of like walk out of the hospital with like my ass hanging out of the back, like just like I'm going home. Like,
everyone, the nurse is like, let him leave.
right? Like,
That he's not going to make it 2 feet, and you're like, keel over.
yeah. I'll
Yeah,
drag myself home if I have to.
I feel like I get that. I don't think I'd want to be in I've had too many relatives and people close to me who have been in a hospital situation and have passed away that way.
Hmm.
Um, and it's sad. It's really
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
And I also know I have people close to me who passed away at home and they were sick. Um, I think I'd rather just be at home and just be like, all right, well, this is it. Yeah, I don't fear death. Should I? Should I fear death?
I don't think so. Well, it depends on like what you think comes afterwards, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't. I think there's an afterlife. I don't think I'm just going to be like, this is it. Um, I so I'm kind of like, all right, well, just my soul will transfer on to the next plane. Let's do it.
I have a layover in hell.
I hope not. Oh my God, could you? Oh my God.
Oh
oh
my
my
god.
oh my Satan, I couldn't imagine being in hell.
Right.
So we're obnoxious.
Yeah, we are. Wait, so that's four, right?
That is 4. Yeah, 4 out of
Okay.
5.
Okay.
Okay, this next one, which oddly, how I love that sometimes we just are subconsciously psychic and are like, we're just transitioning into the next question or whatever. So the
Oh, is it
next
about
question
death?
is no, but like we were talking about like heaven and hell and religion and stuff. So the next question is, who is more likely to convert to a religion for their significant other?
Oh, that's right. Uh,
Yeah.
this one was a hard one for me.
Okay. I have my reasoning too. So like all right. 3, 2, 1. Josh.
Me too, Josh. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My reasoning is I'm so stubborn in my beliefs that I would never convert, or no one could. You would have to try to like really convince me of something else, whatever your religion might be, for me to go for it. Where I feel
Yeah.
like you're a little bit more like you're a little bit more up in the air, and also you're very much about like pleasing your significant other and like
Hmm.
making and you're like, oh well, if that's something that would make them happy, no harm in me. Where I'd be like, we're breaking up. I'm not converting to Scientology. Sorry,
We're
sweetie.
done. Well, I definitely would not do Scientology. No, no, thank you. But like, I think, yeah, I, I think you are a little bit more set in your ways, and
Oh,
not that's
definitely.
and that's not a bad thing. I just think that like I think you
Mm.
would be like, not for me. No thanks. It's your Taurus
Yeah.
moon. It's your Taurus moon and
Yeah.
come into play.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. Like I
Yeah.
I definitely think I'm set in my ways. Um at the same time, I'm very open to other people.
Yeah. Plus, like, I also feel like it'd be kind of cool in a way, just be like, yeah, like, I explored a different religion. I went to Sweden, and all of a sudden, like, I was the May Queen. Like,
That's actually a goal of mine, I'll be real.
right? Like, if it was recreating Midsummer, I think you would be down for it.
Well, I mean that kind of goes into my belief system. So like
But
I
I
mean
am
it's
the queen.
I am the May Queen. I got my little dollar horse anyways. I got my little Scandinavian dollar horse. So I think for me I'm very stubborn. But I'm also fascinated by people's belief systems and religions.
Hmm.
Um and even though like I grew up Lutheran, going to Lutheran school for 13 years, I will talk about all different kinds of spiritual beliefs because it's just really interesting to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's always interesting to like figure out like the differences and like the history behind certain religions and everything like that. So,
Yeah,
but
I love
yeah,
that.
yeah. All right. Next question.
Okay.
Who is most likely to wake up in the morning and immediately start watching porn?
Oh, okay. I'm ready. I got my answer.
I think I do too.
Okay.
Okay. All right, ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Kyle.
Josh.
Oh.
Okay, I have reasoning behind my answer.
Okay, what's your reasoning?
I don't wake up in the morning.
Damn it,
So
I fell into that trap.
so that literally I was like, who wakes up in the morning and immediately starts watching porn?
Right.
Well, I don't wake up in the morning, so it must be Josh.
By default, it goes to me.
By default. I mean, also I don't think like I also am like, that's not like something I want to do first thing in the morning. If I'm gonna watch if that was if I'm gonna Google myself, I would probably do it like, I mean, I
Immediately
would do
wake
it
up and Google
later in the
yourself.
day. Yeah, I would do it like later in the day.
Yeah, I guess I should have answered me because I feel like
But no, you thought me, so why do you think I'm a sexual goddess?
I just think that you would probably wake up more horny than I would in the morning sometimes. Like, I just feel like you have that energy about you where you would just like you would immediately want to do it. Like,
I have sexual energy?
well, what I've seen.
And
No,
it's good? I think that's I mean,
it's an early riser.
I'm a late riser. I'm like 2 in the afternoon. I'll be okay. If I'm in a, you know what's interesting? If I'm in a relationship, I always wake up horny because I'm like, there's someone next to me that I am very attracted to. So like,
Yeah.
wham bam, thank you, ma'am. But when I'm by myself, I don't know. Is this like unpopular opinion? This is a very brave thing for me to say.
Controversial.
It's very controversial,
But
but
so
brave. Yeah. But I don't know. I think sometimes like having sexy time by yourself is kind of boring.
I mean, it depends on what you do, I guess. Like, do you ever have like, do you have toys?
I mean, yes and no. Like, yes, I have toys, um, but they don't recommend sticking a Star Wars figure up your ass
Anymore.
anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, that bowel obstruction with Princess Leia in there, woo! I was like, you're gonna destroy the Death Star, bitch.
Oh my god.
Laser set 2. Woo! No, I don't know. Like, it's just sometimes I think I don't know. I'm turned on by like other people being with me. Like, not that I
Like their
don't turn
energy.
myself on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like their energy. And sometimes like, and I think that goes for my energy too. Like if I'm like feeling myself, or I'm like,
Oh, I look cute tonight. I should just
I look cute
masturbate.
tonight. Yeah, but yeah, I said you because you do wake up early, and
There.
I could totally see in my head I was like, Josh wakes up early and very like turns the coffee pot on, goes, watches porn, is over in 10 minutes, takes a shower, drinks his coffee, and is like, I'm ready for the day. Like it's very
like professional, like with my tie.
professional.
Like,
Yeah, just like we're done.
right. Like, you know, like those movie montages in the morning. Like
Oh, 100%. Like it would
like
just be like,
I have my bathroom robe on and I just pornhub.com.
yeah, you're like, three-way gangbang. And we're done. Oh, coffee's on. Age is
Right.
just like, what is happening?
It's Saturday, sweetie.
And you're like, exactly. And I'm on time. Yeah, that's my thought process. I don't know.
Okay, well, we tried. So that's still what, 4 out of 6?
4 out of 6. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
I think we had passed this math test. All right. Who is more likely to get caught talking about someone behind their backs? Okay. You have your answer?
I guess like I could see it go both ways.
I mean, I feel like maybe I am a decisive person. I'm like, I know all these answers.
All right, I think I'm gonna choose mine, but I I
Okay.
have arguments for both.
Of course. Okay. One,
Okay,
two,
two, three.
three.
I have Kyle.
I have Josh.
Okay.
Okay, I chose you. Um, not that I don't talk shit, but I feel
But
like
I talk shit.
I think I am more likely to say it to someone's face, or at least cop to it, than you would be to say it to their face.
Yes, and that's where I had
Yeah,
my reasoning for me because I feel like I would talk shit someone behind their back more than you would because
yeah,
I feel like you would
yeah.
confront them. That being said, when it says being caught talking about someone behind their back because you are so loud, I can see you maybe venting about someone and they're like, I can hear you.
Yeah, I would. I. Okay. Yeah, I should have chosen me. I should have chosen me because honestly, I am loud, and if I do talk, the thing is that if I was like, "Wow, she was being so fucking rude," I don't know why, Kyle, I can hear you. I'd be like, "Well, you were being fucking rude," like,
Right.
like, because I've done that, and
Yeah.
then it's all fine. But like, yeah, maybe I should have chosen myself.
That's fine. I mean, like, I feel like we both had like reasoning behind it. Like, I definitely think like I would talk shit more than you would, but like you would get
Yeah,
caught because you're so damn loud.
I will get caught. I'm very loud. But
Yeah.
I don't talk shit often, especially behind people's backs. If I will,
I only do it every other day.
I know.
I'm kidding.
You're like, did you hear about Kyle? And I'm like, this is Kyle. And you're like, I meant the other one.
Yeah. No, not you.
All right. Not you.
Um,
Oh, God, no, not you.
all right. So next question.
Okay.
Um, it's my turn, right?
It's your turn. Yep.
Okay. Who is most likely to build a sex dungeon?
Okay. I have my answer.
I do too. All right.
Okay.
One, two,
Two,
three.
three.
Josh.
Josh.
Yeah.
My reasoning was you have more motivation than I do.
I was literally gonna say the exact same thing. I was just like, Kyle wouldn't build shit for himself.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would hire someone. Like I would be like, hey Josh, you want to build a sex dungeon?
Right.
But I also feel like knowing me, I'd be like, I'm not going to provide. Are we talking about a sex dungeon that we make money off of, or are we talking about a personal use sex dungeon?
I mean, either one, I guess.
Well, okay, because I think like if we built a sex dungeon that people like come and pay for, in my head, I would probably be like, I I don't want to provide a capitalist endeavor for people's
Right.
sexuality. They should be able to fuck wherever they want to fuck. Um, but if you were building, if it was like a personal sex dungeon, I would still say you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I still think it would
I
be
would
me.
still say you. I don't think I. I'm
Because
not
one,
good
I
at
feel,
building any things. I don't design.
because you know how I like to like whenever I move somewhere, I'm always just like, you should come over and show you the new place and stuff like that. Like I could
Yep.
totally see me like, come, let me show you the sex dungeon. Let me show you like how I set it up, and like I'd be like, what do you think about this?
I mean, you told me to come, so I guess it's good. I'd be like,
No,
I
not
love the
here.
swing. Yeah, not here. Oh
Yeah.
God, not here. Uh,
The
yeah, I
coming
don't think
station's over there.
the that's the coming station next to the water fountain. Um, yeah, the water fountain shoots out lube.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
good idea.
maybe I could help you design it, but I won't build it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'd be the director who'd be like, we should have this in this area, and there should be refreshments and hors d'oeuvres in this corner, and
I feel like I would also have like rapid STI testing.
yeah,
Like at, I'm, I'm not a prude. No, I feel like people would come inside. They will walk inside rather.
they will come
They would
inside.
arrive. They would arrive. And I'd be like, hi, welcome to Josh's Sex Dungeon. My name's Kyle. I'm the tour director. And today we have a water fountain filled with lube. And also, if you want a free STI test before you get started. No? Okay, well, hors d'oeuvres are in the back. There's there's little wieners and peach slices. So enjoy.
I think
Also,
that'll
I
be our
turned all the
next.
lights off.
I was like, I think that'll be our next episode. It's just like us talking about us building our sex dungeon.
I mean, maybe. I also, the idea of a dungeon scares me. Maybe like a sex she shed,
She shed.
a sex man cave. Yeah, like a she shed.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
cubby hole.
Maybe a sex
Office space.
instead of a sex dungeon, maybe like a sex waiting room.
Right. A sex cubicle.
A sex cubicle. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, privacy? Oh my God. And I can take a call and buy paper and toner at the same time. This is wonderful.
Right. All right. What is the next one? Wait, did we agree with that?
The next one. Yeah,
5.
you're building a sex dungeon. I'm a lazy fuck.
Yeah, 5.
That was 5 out of 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up. Who is better at discovering music?
Oh.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. Josh.
Why do I disappear? Yeah, Josh. You can't see it.
Josh. Yeah. I that's a little bit of an easy question. I just think like I listen to the same stuff all the time. I like new music. I just don't discover it.
I think you do. I just think that you are. I think you have more of an acquired taste in music than I do, and that's not a read. It's just more in the sense of like not. I think you almost. It's weird. It's like I feel like your music really fits into your personality specifically, of like what you listen to and like what you like. Like very ABBA, very disco.
It's like ABBA, Dolly Parton, kind of oldies, or like music that is like pop sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I love pop music that is sad.
Yeah,
Robin like upbeat music. Yeah, it's
but make it sad.
Yeah. It's like I keep dancing. We don't have the rights to that song. Yeah, and I think that you discover music a lot better. Like we'll be listening to something like, oh, I like this, and you're like, oh, it's so and so, and you can remember them. I can't remember anything.
So it's also because of your amnesia that you just can't discover music, right?
I'm sorry, what was the question? Okay. Yeah, I think that like, when we're listening to music together, I'm like, oh, this is good. And you're like, oh, it's so-and-so. And I'm like, cool. I won't remember that name. So I'm always like, hey, send me that song. And you never do. But I do remember good playlists.
I was gonna say the one person that you did show me before I knew about them was Lizzo. But it was funny. It was before she even like was on Drag Race. I just remember you and I went out to the Call, which is a bar up in Andersonville, and they were just playing random music.
Yeah.
And they were playing random music, and Lizzo came on the screen, and I was just like, "Oh, I like this song. What is this?" And you're just like,
"It was Boys."
Oh, yeah. You're just like, "Oh, this is Lizzo. Like I've listened to her for a while now. She's really cool." Yada yada yada. I was just like, "Oh." Because like I'm old, and I didn't realize I could just like have a streaming service, so I bought her album, like her like EP. Is it Coconut Oil? I think. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like listen to this. My favorite song is "Worship Me," which like, duh. So like, I have been listening to. That's so funny, Lizzo. Mm-hmm. That's the one. And now look at her. I mean, we love Lizzo. She's top tier music.
She really is.
Love her.
Okay, so that is 6? Or did we get up to 7? Wow.
I'm going to say, okay, well that, are we 7 out of something? Let's just keep going.
Yeah,
we'll figure out the points.
Yeah, we'll figure it out at the end. Okay, next question.
Okay.
Who is most likely to hold on to a grudge for years?
Okay, I know this one.
Yeah. Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Kyle.
Josh.
What? No, sis, it's you.
No, I don't hold grudges.
Yeah, you do.
No, because to hold a grudge means I still maybe I do hold grudges.
Yeah, yeah, you do.
I don't.
I think, like, let's say hypothetically.
Yeah, what's your reasoning? I want to know.
Okay. Let's say hypothetically we have like someone who's our enemy and someone who we just don't like, and years later someone brings them up to us. I feel like you would have a more visceral reaction to hearing that name again than I would. And that's why I said you. Like, let's say if we
I agree with
hated,
that.
yeah, like let's say if we
I agree
hated
with
this
that.
guy named Ben, and like years later, you're just like, oh, Ben, disgusting.
I literally know so many Bens that I'm like, I don't hate them. Like, I immediately was like, Josh, you can't say Ben. I know at least 3.
Right, he doesn't hate you to your face.
No, I don't hate.
I'm
like
kidding.
you know me. I say this all the time. I like to like people.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't like someone, there's something really off. Like there's some like we're just not vibing, and I don't. And if it bothers me because I'm like, I want to be friends with you. I want to be nice to everyone.
Yeah.
But usually, what ends up happening is said person that I dislike, is a bad person, and it's just we don't vibe because they're shit.
Right. Wait, so what was your reasoning behind me?
I think it's because you are more outwardly like, fuck everything.
Yeah, fair.
So I was like, oh, Josh would hold a grudge. But now that you do make a very good point of, I think there's like 3 people. I honestly can say there's 3 people that I do hold a grudge against.
Okay. Yeah.
And I would, one is an old roommate. Another is
Your
an
mom.
ex-boy.
And
No,
your
but
dad.
it has to do with my mom. It is an ex-boyfriend of my mother from like 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one is an old coworker.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 3. Everyone else I like to get along with, but like they were bad people.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think I'm very quick to like not give them the time of day anymore, like cut them off. If it was more like cut people off, totally me. But
maybe that's what I'm thinking. Is like you're more up to be like, fuck them, I don't like them. Where I'm like, I like everyone except
like I want to like
ones.
them, except for you, piece of shit.
Yeah, but I'm always right. Not to be like, oh my god, I'm always right. I have very good intuition, and I believe that most people in this world are not actually bad people. We might not get along. Like we might be like, we're just not getting along. But there's certain people that I know that they're bad.
Yeah.
Like I know that in their heart, in their
there's
soul,
something gross in them. Yeah.
I almost went full God warrior. Like, leave this house. Like, like it's not
anointing,
Christian.
anointing everything.
I feel that sometimes. I'm very much like if I get a sense sometimes. I just know if people are bad. Most people aren't, but sometimes you encounter them and they're full on the devil.
All right.
So, next question. In a horror film, who would die first? Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Kyle.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely would die first.
There's a lot of factors in it, but the 2 that I think are 1, you're very loud, and 2,
it's not wrong.
2, well, I don't know. I don't know. Because my
Depends
second
on
argument,
the horror film, I guess.
I was gonna say my second argument would just be like, I feel like you would be the leader of the group. If that makes sense. You'd be like, we need to do this and this and this, and because of that, you would probably walk into them first and be like, oh shit, and be like, bye.
Yeah. I said myself just because we already talked about it. I don't fear death. So I'd be like, oh, there's an axe murderer in this mansion that we're all in. I'd be like,
I'm not afraid. I'm open to alliances.
I mean, I'm like, Yeah, I'm open to alliances. I also like I think I would just be like, fine, kill me. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
back for the sequel because I'm haunting this bitch.
The sequel. Oh, that's right.
The
We are in a
sequel, yeah.
horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
I think that if we were in a horror type situation, I also think that your repertoire and knowledge of horror films is much more expansive than mine. So you'd be like, well, this and da 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 da. And it would help you survive at least until the final two. I don't know if you'd be the final one.
I don't think so. I think you never seen Scary Movie 2, right?
I have, but it's been years.
Okay. Well, it's Brenda and Cindy, and Cindy is
Yes.
getting chased down the hallway by a skeleton, and she runs up to her. She's like, "Brenda, we're gonna die!" And she's like, "Well, it would have been just you if you would have just shut the fuck up." I
That would
think
be
that's us.
that's us. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
like
would be us. Yeah.
we would take each other down because we're just like, you know what? If I'm going down, you're coming with me.
Well, and how fun would it be to like if you're in a horror film, you die, then the murderer like gets away. What if the sequel, because I'm always thinking about how much screen time you can get. What if the sequel we come back as ghosts and we're helping the people fight the murderer from the other side?
Yeah, we could be like dream warriors.
Netflix,
Yeah,
I'm here. I'm an ideas person.
he's an idea. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
I
like
like that.
eight. We have 8 points so far. I'm just gonna say that we have 8 points.
Yes.
Okay. Next question
Oh.
is most likely to adopt because we can't give birth. Who is most likely to adopt and raise the Antichrist?
Very Rosemary's Baby.
Very. All right.
Horror film. Okay. Ready? One.
3. Oh.
Go ahead.
1,
I'm just
2,
being bossy.
3.
Kyle.
What? Excuse
Okay.
me.
I had thought it was you at first,
Mm-hmm.
but then I remembered my reasoning was I'm a little bit baby crazy right now. So I would probably adopt a child. I'd be like the single parent.
Right.
And two, knowing my luck, it would end up being the Antichrist.
Yeah.
That being said, I think that if you as Josh knew that you were adopting the Antichrist, I think that would be more likely. Because you'd be like,
Yeah.
yes, I will raise the Antichrist. Where I wouldn't know. I would just like adopt this baby with horns and hooves, and I would be like,
realize it.
no, I'd be like, oh, they're just different.
Right. Like, I love your
Born
nose.
this way.
It's actually a goat.
So,
like you're actually just
It's a goat. Oh my god. Talk about adopting a kid.
right.
Because baby goats are kids.
Okay. I will give it to you. I think you probably would be raising the Antichrist more because I think that actually would make a funnier movie. Like it's just like it starts.
I like that we're talking in movie terms.
Yeah.
That would be funny. Let's
like
write this.
It starts off as like baby mama, where you're just like, oh, I want to like, raise a kid. I'm ready for it. I'm great in my career, and then it comes out and it's like a devil.
And I'm like, all right, we're doing this.
You're like, whoops.
Whoops. It's Antichrist.
Oh man. Okay.
I like this.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. So next question.
Mm-hmm.
Who is more likely to commit a non-violent crime such as shoplifting, identity fraud, etc.? Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Kyle.
I said me. So okay, I
You don't
originally
get that point.
I was originally going to say you because
Uh-huh.
we all know your stories, Winona. But I said
It's not stealing if it's a large company.
oh yes, sure. But the reason why I
Target
said me
is not going to miss the chapstick.
no. The reason why I said me is because I feel like you're such a rule follower. You don't like to break the rules.
I break stupid rules.
Sure.
I don't. I am a rule follower. I said me because
Yeah.
although I'm a rule follower, I also totally get off by like a bit of danger. And if it's like a non-violent thing, I'm like, oh, this is so naughty. I'm committing identity fraud.
Damn.
Kind of into it. You learn something new. You
Right,
don't
like
truly know the gay.
this poor single mom who's just trying to like raise her 3 kids, all of a sudden is like charging up her bill.
No, I wouldn't do that to like poor people. Like I would do that to like a rich
Wall Street.
Also, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would have more of like, I think I chose myself because I'm thinking in terms of like a Robin Hood effect. I would
Sure.
steal from the rich and give to the poor
Or
being
like
me.
right, or like the hustler situation. Yeah.
Yeah. I would do shit like that. I'm not saying I will. Because
Yes.
again, this requires effort. And if there's something we've talked about, I don't have the effort to do that. I'm not doing that.
He'd much rather would just hang out and drink his coffee.
So you said yourself, you think that you're gonna commit crimes?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily that. I just feel like because you're such a rule follower, I feel like I'd be more like, fuck it, we'll just take it.
You're the rebel.
Yeah. I'm a little daredevil. Actually, the Antichrist you're raising is me. Like,
oh my God, why
just
is
my little
that?
devil horns.
I could see that. I'd be like,
Yeah.
hey, come get your breakfast, and you have like a little pitchfork. You're like, I can't eat my cereal with my pitchfork.
Or like the pancake falls off. Like,
right. I'm like, oh, Auntie.
All right. So we're still only at 8 out of whatever, but my goal is to get like 15, and I don't know if we're gonna get there, but that's okay.
Let's shoot for 10. Let's at least get half right.
Okay. So the next question is, who is most likely to get physically sick from drinking hot coffee?
Okay, I know this one.
Yeah. All right, ready?
3, 2. Oh.
What?
Sorry, I'm so bossy that I'm like 3, 2, 1. And I'm like, this is Josh's question. Like, I'm sorry.
Here,
go ahead.
No, you count.
3, 2, 1. Josh.
I said you. You drink nothing but iced coffee.
But I never get physically ill. You drink 1 cup of coffee and you're like on your deathbed.
I am not.
You're like, oh my God.
I don't drink.
I'm so jittery. I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, bitch, this is my 2nd cup of like Trenta iced coffee. And I am feeling great.
Since when have I ever been like, I don't know what to do? Like, I'm like Liza Minnelli in SNL. I'm just like, huh.
I remember one time I went over to your house, and this is like last year.
Yeah.
And I went over to your house, and I was like, I need a coffee. Like, you're like, okay. And you're like, I had coffee, so I'm just going to be drinking water because like I'm really jittery. Like my heart feels like it's like pounding right now. And I was like, okay. And then we had to go to McDonald's because you realized you hadn't eaten. So
yeah. Well, okay. This is
the most like us bickering. And we've talked about raising the Antichrist, building a sex dungeon, holding grudges, talking
and we're like,
shit.
Copy! Come on!
We have you see where our priorities lie.
Well, I said hot coffee because I hardly ever see you drink hot coffee. Like, I don't like hot coffee either, but I like know that iced coffee is your go-to drink in any situation. Yeah. So I don't know. That's just what I chose. I mean, do I think you're right? Probably. I think it probably would be me more for you. But
that's true. I don't drink a lot of hot coffee. I do drink hot coffee.
Yeah. When you have to.
I prefer iced coffee. But as I look at like 3 empty coffee containers next to me.
All right. I was wrong. That should have been yes. That should have been.
No, it's okay. See, I'm apologizing first.
That wasn't an apology.
I'm so sorry that
you were wrong.
I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry that you were wrong.
All right. Next question.
Next question is, who is more likely to use their horoscope or zodiac sign to reason out their behavior?
Oh.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. Josh.
Kyle. What the hell?
I told you, I said before we did this podcast, I was like, it's going to be fun because I'm so intrigued by how you view, like how you reason out who
Yeah.
is what. I think I don't use my horoscope or zodiac sign to reason out my behavior. I just like being a Leo. Whereas I think if you got into a fight with someone, you'd be like, well, it's my Gemini's Mars that keeps me like real crazy.
Oh, I never would say that. No.
I think you have. Right?
When?
Haven't you?
I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
you were always like, it's Leo season. Like I love Leo season because it's all about accepting your worth and yada yada yada. I love being a Leo. Like Leo, I'm such a Leo.
I mean, you're not wrong. I think I just don't use it to reason out my behavior.
Isn't that what I just said though? I'm a Leo. I love talking about myself.
But like, I don't like.
You have said that.
I do, but like, I love attention. I like.
You're like, I do, and as a Leo, I'm offended.
No, I think it's because I have heard you say, like, you have gotten frustrated and impatient with me, and you're like, I'm sorry, I am a triple fire sign, and I'm like, no, you're impatient. You need to calm down. Like, I think that's where my head is. It's like, you're like, I'm an Aries sun and Aries moon with a Leo rising. You expect me to calm down? And I'm like, okay. Yes. Like, I think that's why I chose you. I do talk about being a Leo more, but I think that, like, especially when you're like,
are we
frustrated.
I never realized this. I guess we should have done like a tie or like both of us. I don't know if that was an option.
Oh, we should have. Well, we made up the rules. We can do whatever we want.
Right. I guess that one should have been a tie.
Because I talk about being a Leo more, but you use it as a reason why you're a justification. Yeah. I don't think I justify being like, wow, I'm so obnoxious and funny and beautiful. I'm a Leo.
Well, there's no way you could have justify any
triple threat. Triple threat. Yeah, I don't do that. I'm just like, oh, I'm a Leo. I love myself, which everyone should love themselves. Why is that a bad thing?
Not.
As Demi Lovato said, what's wrong with being confident? Oh, and guess what? She's a Leo. So
I was gonna say, and Demi Lovato is a Leo. So
yeah, you know.
See, all right. Well, that was technically a tie. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's a tie.
We didn't really. I mean, we didn't get a point, unfortunately, but whatever. All right.
It's a wash. Wash.
Who is most likely to get hammered at brunch and then pass out for the rest of the afternoon?
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Kyle.
Josh.
Me?
Yes, because you've done it.
But you would totally be the type of person, like, if you were up for brunch, like, if you ever woke up in time for brunch.
See, why would I be? I'm not up for brunch.
But if you ever were, you totally would go hard on those bottomless mimosas.
But I wouldn't pass out. I wouldn't go home and sleep. I'd keep going.
Well, I feel like what you would do is you would go as long as you could.
I'd have a disco nap.
Yeah, and then you have your disco naps are like 4 hours.
4 hours? I chose you because I have seen you go to brunch, drink a bunch of mimosas.
Yeah.
You come to work, bubbled up from mimosas after brunch.
Yeah.
You have gone to brunch. You go to brunch more often than I do. And you, not right now because of quarantine, but you'll go to brunch, you'll drink a bunch of mimosas or whatever, a Moscow Mule, you'll mix. And then I'll be getting Snapchats of you, like lying on your couch, like, like wrapped in a blanket.
That's me every day.
Am I wrong?
Like, I'm always wrapped up in a blanket on the couch in my home.
But especially after brunch drinking too much mimosas. Am I wrong? I think that you've done that a couple times.
I have, but okay.
It's okay. Like, it's okay that we disagree.
I just think that you would be like, if for whatever reason, if the stars aligned, where if you went to bed on time and you got up and you came to brunch with all of us,
Time is a construct.
I think you would be hammered more.
But that wasn't the question. I'm reading it as who gets hammered and then goes home and passes out the rest of the afternoon. There's two parts to this. Would I be hammered at brunch? Yes. Would I go home and pass out afterwards? No. Would you be hammered at brunch? Yes. Would you go home afterwards and pass out? Yes. And that is why I chose
you. You don't think you would pass out? You totally would.
No, I mean,
yeah, you would. Because especially if you're getting up at like 11 a.m., which is like still bedtime for you, you definitely would still be going back to sleep.
In the words of Chloe and Hallie, that's ungodly hour. I would probably get up at like 1:30. Like if we were brunching at like 1:30, 2 o'clock, like right before the brunch place closes, and we started drinking, and I was like, woo, turn up. And I'm like, enjoy, woo. I feel like I'm more likely to continue the party. Like, I'm like, all right, well, we're done here at the brunch place. Are we going to someone's house? Are we going to another bar? Like, what's the plan? You know, I say that. What's the plan?
Yeah.
Where I feel like you would be like, oh my God, I'm so drunk. And then you'd just be like, I'm going home. Bye.
That's true. I do decide.
There's two parts to it. That's why.
That's not the question, though.
Wait, what? Sorry, you broke up there. What did you just say?
I was like, that's not the question, though.
I don't know. I don't think I would pass out. I would say that, and I have done this, where I go and, we'll go to breakfast, and then not even necessarily drinking, but like you go and you do something in the first part of the day, then you go home, you sleep for like 2 or 3 hours, you wake up, you throw some eyeshadow on, and you go dancing. I have done that, and I will do that. That is something I will cop to. But
it's fine.
You think I would pass out? You think I would pass out from drinking?
I think you
maybe like 3 years ago. I don't know about now.
Maybe. He is getting stronger, ladies.
Than yesterday.
Yeah. Right. Let's just move on, because I don't think we'll come to an agreement on this one.
Okay. For the sake of friendship, I'll say that you were right and I was wrong.
See, he apologizes quicker. Okay.
It's true. I like to keep the peace. I don't like to bicker about dumb things. Josh was like, dumb.
I was like, dumb. This is very important.
All right. I like that we bicker most about zodiac signs, who gets drunk at brunch, and coffee.
Right. Like, all the other ones, like, we've come to, like, a peaceful agreement to. It's just like, oh, I could see that. Yeah, totally. But just like, no, bitch, you drink your fucking iced coffee.
I think that's a good indicator of the important things in life, like who dies first in a horror film and who's going to live longer. We can agree to. So like the other things, that's okay. We don't have to agree on other things, but we might agree on this one. I don't know. All right, next one. Who is the bigger heartbreaker? Who's the bigger heartbreaker? Okay. Do you have your answer?
So before we answer,
okay.
What do you think heartbreaker means?
I think it means who flirts with someone and then there's layers to this. I think like a heartbreaker is someone who will flirt or like engage in a possible relationship with someone only to kind of pull back and act like they don't want it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm a heartbreaker. Also, who gets more action?
Okay.
I mean, you're in a relationship right now, so I don't know your business, but like, and obviously like,
And you're
hold
raising the
that.
Antichrist, so you're very busy.
I'm just digging myself a hole to bury the Antichrist.
Yeah.
So I have my answer.
I have my answer.
Okay.
All right.
1,
Countdown.
2. Oh, count down. 3,
Oh.
2, 1. Josh.
Yeah.
Josh. See, once I specified, I think you're like, oh, okay. I don't think I would be a heartbreaker if there wasn't specifications. I think you're a heartbreaker.
I think I am. Yeah, I think I am. I get bored easily, and I change my mind a lot. And well, I don't know. It's just like I think flirting's fun, but I don't mean a lot behind it. I don't mean a lot behind it. Like if I just like, oh, you're cute. Oh, hi. Oh, But
that's how you flirt.
Yeah.
you flirt like a sim. You're like,
right. The little green thing above my head.
Yeah.
But in terms of heartbreaker, I think you also weirdly enough, even though like I'm in a relationship right now, I feel like you would commit to someone more than I would.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
in terms of like,
I would agree with that, because like I feel like whenever I'm in a relationship, I'm like
you stay in it even if it's over.
Wow, read me.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when I
they serve you hot coffee and they're just like, you know what, I'll stick it out, it's okay.
yeah. I mean, even when I'm broken up with, it does take me a while to get out of the mode of caring about someone. I don't know. I'm sorry that I'm such a loving person.
Yeah, it's so hard.
But I don't think that makes me a heartbreaker, does it? I think I have my heart broken more than I break hearts.
Yes, I agree with that.
Oh, that's so sad.
Ladies, if anyone wants to reach out to poor Kyle. No, I agree. I think
send me money.
Yeah, I think you are more committed in a relationship, even if it might not be the best thing for you. And I get bored easily. So that was the reasoning behind it.
Yeah. I think, I feel like, quarantine sucks, but I feel like pre-quarantine, we would be out, and I like flirting with strangers. That is fun to me. That I like, because I'm like, there's no issue behind it. You can just flirt and be cute and have fun and buy a drink, or they buy you a drink, whatever.
Right.
But I also am like, there's no seriousness behind it. Whereas like, I think you flirt with people and then they're like, oh, okay. And then you're like, yeah. And they're like, yeah. And you're like, yeah. And they're like, yeah. And you're like, no.
Or like, I just disappear. Like, or it's just like.
Yeah, you go into the bushes, you're like, yeah. Like the Homer Simpson gif. Where I think I'm like, yeah. Right. You just disappear. I think where I'm more like, flirting, I'll be like, yeah. And they'll be like, yeah. And I'm like, well, that was fun. And then I go on my merry way. And they're like, it was fun.
Right. Or they're like, yeah. And you're like, yeah. And they're like, yeah. And you're like, yeah. And they're like, maybe not. You're like, yeah.
And I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. All right. So we matched on that one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
you're
so
a heartbreaker.
So that's 9. Heartbreak, you got the best of me. Okay. So I'm on my last question.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we are on the penultimate question here, folks. Who is most likely to have sex with a Jonas brother?
Okay.
Also, I don't know why I chose that one. It was just one of the random ones that I saw. So, all right.
These aren't original. Mine are all original. I'll say that.
Not every single one of them. This is one of the ones I've copied.
What, from like Teen
Tiger
Vogue,
Beat. Yeah.
Tiger Beat, like,
Yeah.
yeah, 17 magazine.
Right. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Kyle.
Josh. I think I would have sex with the Jonas brother before you.
You're in a relationship.
That doesn't matter. People have freebies.
Oh, wait. Okay, so who's your Jonas brother you're sleeping with?
Joe, obviously. Yeah.
I don't
Joe.
like this. Because Joe, I'm sleeping with.
You can sleep with
So,
Kevin. Kevin's cute.
okay, honestly, when I thought about this question, I was like,
Who'd you
knowing
sleep
that
with
it's not
first?
specified, I would end up sleeping with Kevin. Not because
Yeah.
I want to, but I feel like he's a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. We both, have a couple of drinks. He's like, do your Jersey accent. My wife doesn't do it as well as she used to. And I'll be like, yo, I'm from Jersey.
And he's handsome. He's cute. Like, he's my second favorite. Nick's my least favorite, but...
Really? Nick is my second favorite.
Well, Nick's my least favorite just because...
Talented.
I don't know. Well, no, it's just like, I don't know. He's probably the most standard one out of the group. Like, I feel like Nick Jonas could be other talented white men. We're like...
Yeah.
Like, Kevin, he's a little quirky, a little different, but still very cute. Joe is just so fucking hot. Like,
Chef's kiss.
He's just so perfect.
I have had a crush on Joe Jonas ever since they came on the scene. I was like, I think that actually kind of forms my taste in men too.
Yeah.
Of like he's a little swarthy, right?
Yeah.
He's like a little swarthy, he's a little goofy. I think I like people who are a little bit quieter than I am. And
Okay.
I think Joe is pretty loud. But Joe and I are both Leos. We're born like 2 days apart.
Yeah.
So like,
really?
I think, oh yeah. I think he might be a year older than me, but like birthday wise, we're 2 days apart. I think he might be August 15th and I'm August 13th.
Okay. So like just around the same age.
Right. And I remember like when they came on the scene, my sister I think she still is. I don't know. Do you ever grow out of your Joe Bros? I mean, look at
that.
him.
You can't. Oh my god.
Look at. Honestly, it's a blurry photo, and I'm still into it.
I know. Like, look at that arm.
You know what it is. You know what it
face.
is.
What?
It's eyebrows. He
has beautiful eyebrows.
Oh my god, I am obsessed with people's eyebrows. Like, if you have shit eyebrows.
Why can't I hate Zoom? It's not letting us live out our Joe Bro fantasy.
And Zoom, come on, and Zoom, come on. Any other PBS kids out there?
Right. Well, here, actually, let me do this. Keep talking.
Oh my god. Well, so like my sister was obsessed with Jonas Brothers, and I always had to play off that I was like, oh, that's for girls. Like, I don't like Jonas Brothers. Mm-hmm. But low key, obsessed with Jonas Brothers, and especially Joe Jonas. Mm-hmm. And I remember one time my sister, she said to me, she said, Kyle, you need to be famous. And I said, well, why? And she said, because you have to be friends with Joe Jonas and I need to marry him.
Wait, why can't she be friends with Joe Jonas?
Because she's not famous.
Okay.
In this situation, I am famous and I'm best friends with Joe Jonas. And Kelsey, my sister, is,
look at that.
I need words to describe my thought.
Right? It's just so beautiful. So beautiful.
And you know the thing is that sometimes I like, a little bit of hair on a guy. Joe could do whatever he wants. I don't care.
Yeah.
He is so handsome.
Yeah.
What about the other two? What do you think is that why is it that we're more attracted to Joe than Nick or Kevin?
I think Nick is, like I said, more standard, and what I mean by that is that I feel like he is a little bit more relatable to people, I guess, like in terms of like their taste in men. Like, I feel like you and I like kind of have like an agreement that Joe Jonas is a little bit like quirky looking, still really hot, but like has
look at that six pack. He's so quirky.
Well, like Joe will dye his hair. He'll dye his hair pink, blonde, and things like that. Like he'll like.
So you think
he'll wear like
personality
flashy
goes into
outfits?
it?
Yeah, totally. He wears
personality goes into it. Yeah.
Or like Nick is just, he's always wearing the same things. I don't know. Watching
He's a
interviews
little,
with him, he always
he's a little
seems like,
boring.
yeah, he always seems the most boring.
He
Kevin actually
also
is really
is married to
funny.
my, well, he has to be.
Yeah. Wait, what? Hey, Kevin's cute.
That's why I'm funny. No, I don't know. So you think you would sleep with a Jonas brother before I would?
I think so, because as a heartbreaker, I think I would be able to flirt with them into bed a little bit more, and then afterwards I'd be like, bye. Well,
Well,
unless it was Joe.
if it
Well, I'd
was
hang on to him.
Joe, I feel like, I think you're right because I'd be like, I'm not a cheater. I'm not going to, Joe, we can't do this. Your wife
Right.
will know. And he'll be like, no, let's just eat cake by the ocean. And I'm like, this is a lake.
And does he
You
mean your
can't,
cake?
yes, he means my cake, extra
Yeah.
frosting. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you would sleep with a Jonas brother before me. I have dreams, I have hopes, I have aspirations. I'm putting it out into the universe. Let's manifest this shit. But
Yeah.
I also, well, I don't know. I was going to say, I think Joe, if any of the Jonas brothers came out as queer, I would think it would be Joe. But now I'm thinking, I'm like, maybe it would be Nick.
I think it'd be Nick.
I think it might be Nick.
I think
Not
Nick
that
would
we
be.
are trying to figure out anyone's sexual orientation,
No, but
but
I think Nick would be knowing his history of like um
gay
taking
pandering.
yeah his gay pandering. I think Nick would probably be gayer, queer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we lost or no, yeah, we
No,
lost
we
this
lost.
one.
We lost.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to sleep with a Jonas brother, and you proved that you probably would. Okay, last one. Who is more likely to overshare their personal life with a coworker?
Oh, I already know this one.
3, 2, 1. Kyle. I actually had to think about it because I was like, I feel like you, Josh,
Yeah, thank you, me.
confide in coworkers more.
Yeah.
I feel like you're like, oh yeah, this happened, or oh yeah, that happened in my life, and oh my god, and then
Yeah.
you just like leave it. But I feel like I have a tendency to overshare because I feel like everyone is on the same playing field. We're all just like oversharing our lives together, and that's okay. But that's not the case. People don't care.
Not always. I mean, some
They're
people
like,
like it.
Kyle, we don't care about your sex life, or Kyle, we don't care that you've had 12 kidney stones. We don't care.
Right. Kyle, we don't care that you hate. Oh, I was about to say their name out loud.
Kyle, we Kyle, we don't care that you hate.
See, I accidentally gossip a lot, so maybe I would get caught.
I
So maybe I would be caught. I don't know.
I think you would. I think you would.
Yeah.
Although I am loud.
Yeah. No, I think it's not that you overshare, it's just that you like to talk a lot and you get to know you very, very quickly. Like, and some people, like when I first met you,
Yeah.
when I first met you, I was just like, oh, this is fine. This is cool, or whatever. I don't know if everyone else felt that way, but that's how I felt.
I think it also changes with age. When I was younger, like I feel like in high school I was a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
Not like super quiet. I think it just depended on the social group I was in and
Sure.
like the energy that they were giving to me. And then after high school, I don't know, I was a little bit quieter, but I do think that like when you come out and you start to own yourself more, I'm kind of an open book in most cases.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, as you get older, you're just like, I mean, this doesn't really matter anyway in the long run. So let me just tell you about my life.
Older.
Old. You know, when you hit that big 3-0.
Old.
Well, how many did we get? I forget.
I mean, yeah.
It was
I'm
like,
gonna say we got them all right.
it was unfortunately under 10, I would say.
It was under 10, but I think that we reasoned out pretty well.
Most of them, yeah. I mean,
so we don't know each other. That's nice.
I was gonna say, like, so apparently we're not that close.
I think if anything, this shows that we can't just make a decision, that we have to like make a decision and then be like, and because, and we have to have like a reason behind it. Like
Right.
Most people should be like, oh yeah, so and like Kyle's going to da 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 da, and that's it.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, we also.
I had fun.
Yeah.
I still felt like I won.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that neither one of us were really wrong, so at least we can walk away saying that we were both right. I was more right, but that's okay.
Well, baby, when it's right, it's right.
Right. So
honestly, you were more right. I just talk more and am louder.
That's all it is. That's all just Kyle.
That's all it is. Yeah.
No. So we won't do it when we release the episode, but throughout the week, we are also going to be putting up these polls for you guys to answer. And you guys are also going to participate in who do you think is actually correct in this? Is Josh the bigger heartbreaker, or is Kyle the one who gossips more? Is Kyle the one who actually will brunch at 3 p.m.? Or is Josh... I don't even know.
I still stand by that I would not pass out after getting hammered.
No, but whatever. I was about to go into this whole argument again.
Okay, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm sorry. I apologize.
Kyle. Yeah, right. Thank you for apologizing because you were wrong. All right, so that was a fun game, and even though we don't really know each other in the long run, at least we
hush! You are so ridiculous.
That we do. Yeah, we pretend that we do.
You are ridiculous.
So, viewers and listeners, I hope you enjoyed the second YouTube video of Fear the Queer. And of course, for everyone who does not know, we still upload it on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so you can still at least hear us if you don't want to view us, which is understandable. Kyle, where else can they contact us?
Well, we're on Instagram. Did you say that? You kind of broke up a little bit, so I couldn't hear you.
And you just let me ramble on and on.
Because like all I saw was you were like this.
Oh, well, what I was going to say is
if you don't, Kyle, where else can you find us? And I was like, Instagram. Yeah. But the truth is, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. Yes. Just look up Fear the Queer Podcast. It's really easy. Yes. So even though we're video now, if you still type in Fear the Queer Podcast, we're like the first one that pops up. Yes. And if you're watching us, you know you're on YouTube.
Hopefully. I mean, I hope you know.
They're like, YouTube?
How'd we get here?
YouTube. How did we get here? Yeah.
Yes. All right. And as always, I'm Josh.
And I'm Kyle.
And we're...
Fear the Queer.
The Queer. Bye.
Bye. Oh. Wait, you can't see my signs.
I can't.
Look at these hands. See me with them hands.
See you with them hand, girl.